Hello, Gentle Explainer here. Today I am going to gently explain a romance thriller movie called Trust. Life has a strange way of testing love, sometimes not with distance, but with doubt. Doubt is like a silent fire that slowly burns dreams into ashes and leaves behind scars only the heart can feel. Today's story is about a couple whose love once felt unshakable, but one spark of suspicion turns their perfect world upside down. Suspicion creeps in like a shadow, twisting their emotions and forcing them into choices they never imagined. But is what we see really the truth? Or is it just an illusion, born out of fear and doubt? Will their love withstand the storm when reality is finally revealed? And what is the hidden secret that has pushed their relationship to the edge? Let's uncover the answers in today's story. At the beginning of the story, we are shown a mobile phone where someone is constantly messaging, asking where we are. In the background, we see two people vandalizing a room, although their faces are not visible. Next, we see a girl named Brooke returning home from Paris. She was very stressed, so as soon as she arrived home, she immediately embraced her husband, Owen. The story then takes us back 5 days, where Brooke receives a message from Ansgar on her phone at night. Owen says, "This guy doesn't know anything about timing." Brooke replies, "Ansgar has now arrived in New York, and I'm approaching him for an exhibition at my art gallery." The next day, we see Ansgar in his studio, where a reporter is interviewing him. Ansgar, who was famous for his nude paintings, is asked, "Which girls have you painted? Were they all single?" Ansgar, in a different tone, says, "I don't know, but before I paint, I spend some time with them. If I feel a connection with them, only then do I paint them." Meanwhile, Brooke and Owen arrive. The reporter takes Brooke aside and says, "People might think he's a cheap artist." Brooke says, "People won't know anything, but I see talent in him, and I know he'll go far." Ansgar, moving toward Owen, says, "Brooke is a really nice girl. She always supports me." Owen feels a little jealous after hearing this. Later that night, Brooke and Owen were having dinner with their friends, Eleanor and Adam. Eleanor is a divorce attorney, and they were all having a good conversation over dinner. Owen is also a news reporter, and he says, "Next week, I'm going to Paris. If Brooke comes along, it'll be a great Christmas vacation." But Brooke is under a lot of pressure at work, so she probably can't go. Then they start talking about Ansgar, and then she gets a call. Eleanor says that there are a lot of divorces these days because of cheating, but only the guys get caught. This makes Brooke and Owen feel a little insecure. After that, Brooke leaves for work. Then, when she returns home that night, she finds that Owen has a surprise for her. Brooke is overjoyed and apologizes for being late because of work. Owen lovingly says, "We're going to Paris this Friday after your gallery show, and this time, no excuses will be accepted." But Brooke says, "After my show, the art sales will start, so I might not be able to go." Hearing this, Owen becomes a little disappointed. He had already booked tickets, which Brooke hadn't even noticed. Then, when Owen leaves, he sees her outside. He leaves when a message comes on his phone. Brooke reads it, stating, "We'll meet tonight, and we'll have a lot of fun." He also instructs her to delete the message. This makes Brooke a little suspicious. When Owen returns, she asks, "Who is Sarah?" Owen is a news producer without hesitation. The next day, Brooke is a little tense because her art gallery show was about to begin, but she was facing some problems due to a lack of funds. Then, Ansgar approaches Brooke and happily announces, "A millionaire is very interested in our paintings." Brooke had heard this millionaire's name before, so she gets very excited. But Ansgar continues, "He won't be coming to New York. We'll have to go to Paris to meet him." Hearing this, Brooke asks, "How can I suddenly leave like this during the show?" Ansgar explains, "You'll have to handle the business matters. I won't go there without you, so start preparing without delay." Brooke finally agrees. Then, Brooke tells her friend Eleanor that she's going to Paris with Ansgar. Eleanor jokingly says, "Well, you're going to Paris with Ansgar. I think I'll have to tell your husband about it." Brooke then goes to talk to Owen about it, but seeing the girls from her show with Owen, she becomes a little jealous. She then meets Owen and explains that going to Paris is very important to her because it could be the biggest business deal of her life. Owen is upset to hear this, as he had planned to go to Paris on Friday, but Brooke is already leaving with Ansgar. Then, in a fit of rage, Owen tells his colleagues to resume his show, which he had cancelled for the weekend. Later that night, while Brooke is sleeping, she suddenly wakes up and sees Owen booking a cab at midnight. Brooke texts him, but there's no reply. She then tracks the cab's location on her tablet and sees Owen going to a hotel on William Street. Then, After a long day, when Owen returns home in the evening, Brooke asks him where he went last night. Owen says, "I had to go cover an urgent story." He then apologizes to Brooke, and with a little affection for his wife says, "I overreacted to the Paris thing yesterday, but now I realize you have to go." During this, he notices that Brooke has packed a lot of short and stylish dresses for her Paris trip. Brooke says, "I might have to go there for dinner too, so I'm keeping some nice clothes. Don't worry, I'll take care of myself there." After Brooke leaves for Paris, we see Owen at a bar with his friend Adam. They're both drinking. Owen starts drinking a little too much. Then, a girl named Amy sitting there starts talking to Owen. She says, "I'm pursuing a journalism course that's about to complete soon, and while researching for an assignment, I learned a lot about you. I'm a big fan of yours." Meanwhile, in Paris, Brooke and Ansgar are meeting with a businessman. Ansgar tries to flirt with Brooke, but Brooke ignores him. Finally, their meeting is very successful, and they receive orders for several paintings, making both of them very happy. Ansgar tells Brooke, "You recognized my talent, and I am who I am today because of you." Then, pointing to a beautiful view, he says, "Look at this beauty and enjoy this moment with me." Although his intentions seemed unkind, Brooke says, "I have to go back to New York." Owen and Amy talk for a long time. Then, when Owen leaves to go home, when Amy is about to arrive, she asks him for an autograph. She also lies, saying, "A friend of mine is coming in 2 minutes. A huge fan of yours. She would be very happy if you met her." But Adam had to leave early, so he tells Owen that they're running late. However, Owen, taken in by Amy's words, decides to stay, and Adam leaves. Amy then deliberately starts talking to Owen in an interesting way, trying to seduce him with her words, and Owen also starts paying a lot of attention to her. Meanwhile, Amy receives a message on her phone, which she ignores. The message contains something that will reveal a big secret. Meanwhile, Amy goes to the bathroom. We then see the two of them in Owen's house, where they were getting intimate. This is the same scene shown at the beginning of the story, where two men were vandalizing a room. Meanwhile, Brooke was receiving numerous messages, but Owen wasn't replying. After their first round, Owen tells Amy, "Maybe you don't know I have a wife whom I love very much, and I've never cheated on her. If she finds out, she'll be very hurt, so it's better we never meet again." Amy begins to blackmail him, saying, "Okay, that's fine, but you have to do one thing for me. After my journalism course is over, you have to get me a job somehow." Hearing this, Owen understands Amy's trick, but he has to agree to her condition. The next day, Brooke returns from Paris and hugs Owen as soon as she arrives home, a moment we saw at the beginning of the story. The next day, Ansgar brings a new painting to the gallery. Upon seeing it, Brooke says, "We can't present it at the exhibition. Don't you think it looks like me?" Ansgar smiles and says, "No, that's not the case. We have to present it at the show because we're running out of time." The show begins in the evening, and many people come. Owen arrives at the gallery and examines the painting carefully, and realizes it's Brooke's. He also dislikes seeing Ansgar getting too close to Brooke for photos. He's touching her in various places, which angers him. He doesn't say anything. Owen's friends also see it and realize the painting is Brooke's. Just then, Brooke and Ansgar are overjoyed at the show's success. Just then, Amy arrives at the show, and seeing this, Owen panics and tells Adam, "I was with you all night yesterday and we were just having drinks. If anyone asks, tell me this story." Adam asks, "What exactly happened?" Owen replies, "I made a big mistake last night." Just then, Brooke arrives and notices that Amy is constantly looking at Owen. She asks Owen, "Do you know that girl?" He replies, "No, I don't." Then Ansgar brings Amy and introduces her to Brooke, saying, "Amy really liked our paintings." Brooke tells Amy, "This is my husband, Owen." Amy smiles and says, "I know him. I just got his autograph yesterday." Owen handles the situation by saying, "I meet a lot of people, so I'm a little confused. Maybe we just met." As the show comes to an end, everyone starts going home, and Owen, too, is tired of Brooke. He makes an excuse and leaves. Amy is about to leave, but Ansgar is after her. We then see Ansgar go to drop Amy off on his bike, but Amy goes straight to Owen's house, where Owen is alone. Owen says, "We can't meet again." Amy replies, "You have no idea, but I've met your wife before." Then we see another flashback. Brooke, while all the friends are out for dinner, talks privately with her lawyer friend Eleanor Before leaving for work, she tells her, "I think Owen might be cheating on me." Eleanor says, "Don't worry, and if you have any serious doubts, just pay attention to him." The next day, they meet again and discuss the same topic. But Eleanor tries to convince her, "You're doubting him unnecessarily. I can't. But you shouldn't overthink." But Brooke doesn't believe it, and she feels something is wrong. Eleanor says, "In many divorce cases, whenever we need to prove that a husband is cheating, we send an official woman to him. If he tries to flirt with us, or if anything goes wrong, we record it." Then she gives Brooke the number of one such agency, but also says, "You should trust Owen, and you probably won't need this number." Then one night, when Owen suddenly leaves, Brooke can't sleep, worrying about where he might have gone without telling her. Then, checking the location on her tablet, she sees that the place where Owen is going is a good hotel for a one-night stand. Brooke can't understand why Owen went there. He might be cheating on her. So she decides to test Owen and calls the agency. Then the next day, she meets a girl, and this girl turns out to be Amy. She was the one she had assigned to test Owen. Brooke says, "You seem a little different. Would you be able to do that kind of deal with Owen?" Amy says, "I work on official duty, so you can trust me completely, and I'll have someone with me to record everything. But if you ever feel like we should cancel this, just send me a message and I'll leave." Later, when Brooke was in Paris, after a business meeting, when Ansgar was trying to get close to her, Brooke messaged Amy and asked her to cancel the deal, but Amy ignored the message. After meeting Owen, she realized she could get a job opportunity if she did something real, and she was willing to go to any lengths to do so. She even sent back the recording man, and then we know what Amy did. Meanwhile, in Paris, Ansgar and Brooke are talking. Ansgar asks, "Why did you approach me?" Brooke replies, "I found you incredibly talented." Ansgar was actually trying to get closer to Brooke. Meanwhile, Brooke notices that Amy isn't responding to the cancellation message she sent to her. This upsets her. She then calls Owen, but he doesn't answer either, causing her immense stress. A few hours later, when she speaks with Owen, she asks, "Where are you?" Owen replies, "I went to a bar with Adam, but I just got home." Amy was also at home with Owen at the time, but Owen doesn't let Brooke understand. Afterward, as Brooke leaves, Ansgar says, "If anything goes wrong between us, then we'll be feeling lost." The next day, when Brooke is at her gallery in New York, Amy comes to meet her and lies to her saying, "I met your husband, but my phone died before that, and I couldn't record anything because the person recording it couldn't come for some reason. But I talked to your husband for a long time and tried to attract him, but he's a really nice guy. I tried so hard, but he didn't pay me much attention, which means he's passed the test." Brooke finds this strange and still suspicious. Tells Amy, "I don't even know if you went there." Amy shows her Owen's autograph. After seeing the autograph, Brooke gives her a check for her work and invites her to her exhibition that evening. However, at the evening exhibition, Owen denies that he met Amy, which Brooke understands. Owen is lying and hiding something. Then, when Ansgar goes to get his bike to drop Amy home, Owen takes the opportunity to talk to Amy, asking, "What are you doing here?" Amy replies, "What's going on? You don't know anything." Just then, Ansgar arrives and asks Owen, "What are you talking about with her?" Owen was already angry, so a fight breaks out between them, and they start hitting each other. Brooke arrives and stops them. Ansgar leaves to drop Amy home. After Brooke calms Owen down, she shows him the autograph she got from Amy and asks, "Did you two meet?" Owen replies, "Yes, maybe she got my autograph when I was drinking at the bar. But what's wrong with that? People also take photos with me. So what's the big deal?" Brooke then asks, "Did she take any photos with you?" Owen says, "Yes, I did click photos." Hearing this, Brooke believes Amy was lying. She then asks, "Tell me the truth about everything that happened that night." Owen replies, "Yes, I made a big mistake." Hearing this, Brooke angrily gets out of the car and starts to leave. Owen goes after her and tries to convince her, but Brooke, still furious, asks, "Did you two spend a night together?" Owen replies, "Yes, I made a mistake." Hearing this, Brooke becomes even more angry and says, "That's why you used to get up at any time of the night and leave without telling me. I need to check your phone. Give it to me." When Owen doesn't give her his phone, Brooke takes it from him and leaves. Afterward, Owen goes straight to his house and Amy arrives shortly after. The story returns to the present, and Amy explains that a few days ago, Brooke hired her to help her. Through me, she could check if you were cheating on her, although I also came to do this work officially. After meeting you, I realized that I might get a real-life opportunity. That's why I stayed, and I was willing to go further. On the other hand, after a fight with Owen, Brooke went straight to her friend Eleanor's house. While she was checking Owen's phone, she learned about a news story. It was about a politician who had cheated on his wife. When she saw the address and the date, she realized that Owen had been there in reality, meaning he was telling the truth. He had gone to cover a news story that day. Brooke realized this and felt deeply guilty for having unreasonably suspected Owen and even tested him. Afterward, she went straight home, where Amy and Owen were still talking. Seeing Amy there, Brooke became very angry. Owen told her that it was all her doing. "You framed me," he said. Brooke replied, "What I did was just a reaction to your planning, so it's not my fault." Then she admitted, "I shouldn't have done this. I tried to destroy my own home by suspecting you without reason." However, both of them are now angry at Amy for trying to blackmail them by taking advantage of all this. Amy returns the check and leaves. After this, Owen asks Brooke what happened that night in Paris when she was with Ansgar. After coming home the next morning, she was very upset. Brooke begins to explain. We are also shown that when Brooke repeatedly tried to contact Amy and Owen, there was no contact, due to which she became extremely upset and started crying. Ansgar comes there and consoles her, asking her to come to the room to relax a bit. After coming into the room, he shows her outside and says, "Look, 2 years ago, I used to paint on the street like this, but you recognized my talent and allowed me to prove myself. We've been given a great opportunity to do something. Now, we're both in this moment. We shouldn't let this moment go by." Here, Ansgar tries very hard to get intimate with her, and Brooke begins to accept the moment. Ansgar also slowly moves closer to her and starts kissing her. But suddenly, Brooke stops at this very moment and doesn't tell Owen anything further. Owen asks, "Tell me," but Brooke says, "You cheated on me, so you can't ask that question, and I will never answer that question." After this, Owen packs his bag and starts to leave. Brooke asks him, "Will you be back for Christmas?" Owen takes a ticket from his pocket and says, "I already booked a ticket to Paris a long time ago. Will you come with me for Christmas?" Brooke says nothing more, and thus, they forgive each other. At this lovely moment, the story ends. I hope you liked this movie explain video. If you want to see more similar movie explain videos, then you can watch this video by clicking here. Now I go and see you in the next video.